let's jump right back into that journey into mystery. Ian, this week we are talking about Spider-Man Homecoming. Like the
coming.
the first like Spider-Man appearance after Civil War. So we are introduced to Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and now we get to know all about his world, his new world. And the funny thing is that this is still a Sony film. This is a Sony movie that's in the MCU. Like something we definitely didn't think we were going to see.
No, and I'm incredibly excited that we got to see it. I know that we have differing opinions, so at the end of all this is probably going to be one of the points of contention as to where to put this in the list, but I know we have differing opinions. I enjoyed this one. I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I enjoy watching him as Peter Parker.
Yeah, no, I think we went over that in the Civil War conversation, and I like Tom Holland as Peter Parker. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. It's just I just had I don't know. I just had a real hard time with this movie because it's so high school. Like I get it. Spider-Man is in high school. Peter Parker is in high school. He should have high school problems. But it was just a little too much free-formy for me. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
One thing I do have to say though that I love about this movie, and sorry for cutting you off.
Oh no, you're good. I lost my train of thought anyway.
One thing I really love about this movie is the very beginning when you get to see the events of Civil War through Peter's eyes, like how he like gets taken to Germany and he's hanging out in his hotel room, and they're like, "Well, did you check out?" He's like, "There's a whole other room over here." He gets the new suit and all that other stuff. Like it was just great.
Like I think I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Peter Parker for that reason, because he's so excitable.
He is.
And everything is just so innocent, and it injected that like wonder back into the MCU. Where to this point we're in a spot where like, all right, we know Iron Man, we know what he's gonna do, we know Cap. Oh, sorry, Craig.
That wasn't cool.
Nah, Craig took your spot.
Well, here. Well, like the whole thing just like reloaded on me.
There we go. Now you're back.
Okay. I don't know what happened there.
No, that's really
Why don't
strange.
you restart your thought so that we can get good
get a good take of that.
Yeah.
So what I like about Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Spider-Man is that he's so excitable, and he brings back this like sense of wonder and kind of a sense of innocence back to the MCU, where with the other characters it's like, okay, we've seen Tony Stark a million times, we know what he's about, we know how he's going to act. We've seen Cap do his thing, we know what he's about, we know how he's going to act. Then you get to Spider-Man and it's like, oh, finally a new character that we're familiar with, so we have a general idea of what to expect, but he's just this kid. He's this kid who has powers, and I love that it's not an origin story. And he's just being Spider-Man. Like all the way from just about like the Amazing Bagman all the way like all the way to current.
Yeah, and you say it's not an origin story, but it's not an origin story for Spider-Man. It's an origin story for Vulture, though. Like you're essentially getting all the Vulture stuff like going on.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that because we've never seen Vulture on the screen. If it was another attempt to do Green Goblin and we got like an origin about Green Goblin, I'd be a little like, oh, come on, man. Like, he's an Osborn, he does some weird experiment to himself, and now he's messed up. But it's Vulture. It's a completely different bad guy. I would feel the same way if, for some reason, the bad guy was like Black Cat.
I mean, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I don't. I mean, I know that Sony is working. Well, that's the thing. Sony's like working on all the Spider-Man properties. You know, like they were supposed to have been working on a Black Cat, Silver Sable movie together, but
I'd be here for it.
I mean, I'd be in for it too, but I don't know if it got shelved or it's just on a hiatus. But they're also doing a what was it? I think they're supposed to be doing a Silk movie. They're supposed to be doing a Craven movie. They're supposed to be. I mean, we know we have a Morbius movie. We just haven't got a chance to watch it yet because of COVID. Uh, another Venom movie. Let's see who
Venom
else?
2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Like that's exactly what that movie would probably be.
um, do we need a full Craven movie?
I don't understand what exactly you do in that movie. Like, I don't understand how do you make movies that are straight up about villains and like and integrate them into the rest of the like into Spider-Man stuff, or if it's Venom's going to be their person they go up against, or is it just going to be a world of villains? But like, I mean, I understand Joker just came out and it made all the money and it's a movie just about a villain, but like,
We want our
are you
struggling villain movies, damn it.
are you gonna do the same thing to Craven? Like, I don't understand that when he hunts people. Like that was his whole thing. Like he hunted all the animals, beat them, decided he wanted to hunt people, beat them, was gonna hunt Spider-Man now because Spider-Man's kind of a man and a spider, like kind of thing.
Come here, tarantula boy, I need to squash you. Like,
Yeah.
I think that Craven would be so much better suited, and this is kind of, I'm jumping ahead in the formula a little bit. I feel like Craven would be so much better suited as a like standalone Spider-Man bad guy.
No, yeah, exactly. I don't think you really need to team him up with other bad guys. Am I gonna watch it if they do? Yeah, of course. But like it just seems weird to for him to have his own movie.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't know. I kind
And
of want.
don't get me wrong, he's like one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. Like Craven is kind of my guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I just want them to hurry up and give us a Sinister Six movie.
I mean, they were working on that with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Like you saw it in the trophy room kind of thing at Oscorp, and they were supposed to make that movie, but then the second Amazing Spider-Man didn't do so well, so that whole universe just got scrapped.
Yeah, but so back to Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
We brought it all the way around. In Homecoming, they give us 2 out of the 6.
Well, let's see. We have Vulture, Shocker. You have
Scorpion.
Prowler, kinda. You have Scorpion.
Oh, I forgot that we got Prowler
Yeah, I
because
mean he's
Donald
not really
Glover.
part of the Sinister Six, but yeah, Donald Glover.
But you can put him in there. The Sinister Six is kind of a rotating door of Spider-Man bad guys. I feel like.
Most definitely, most definitely.
And then jumping ahead again, we get Mysterio in the second one.
True.
But
if he's dead,
I mean, he's dead. He got shot.
Is he dead?
I mean, he got.
The whole thing is about illusions and stuff.
But like Spider-Sense says he's dead. I don't know if it works that way. I'm gonna vote it works that way.
His Spider-Sense is all wonky.
Yeah, but he trusts in himself at the end. We're getting ahead a couple movies.
This is true. So, let's break this one down though. So, did you think that the twist or not twist, the reimagining of the high school life for Peter was good? Like, okay, you got this best friend. You have no, I don't know. Do you consider Zendaya's character Mary Jane? Or is she just MJ?
I think she's just MJ. Like I think they were trying to get away from the need for a Mary Jane.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, nah, she's MJ.
Okay.
Trying to be real clever to get around it. I'm here for it.
I mean, she's doing a great job. That's fine. I'm just saying. I'm just asking: is she MJ or is she Mary Jane? Is she just a different character they made for the movie?
I would think different character that happens to be MJ that they made for the movie.
Then what was the actual the love interest he has in the movie is not Michelle. What was her name?
Oh man,
Liz. It was supposed to be Liz Allen, but she got changed to Liz Toombs. and with that, they kind of make the world smaller because Liz Allen's a big character in Spider-Man's world. She ends up with Norman Osborn, or not Norman, Harry Osborn, has a kid with Harry Osborn. Now she's the daughter of Adrian Toomes, which, the Vulture, they definitely did a different job on, with Michael Keaton being like the working man's millionaire kind of thing. He's in there working with his crew, whereas Adrian Toomes was like this billionaire, like recluse that just stayed at home and
Adrian's Croom.
Adrian's crew. I don't get it.
It's the crew that he works with. It's Adrian's Croom. That was dumb. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay. But he wants to get back at the CEOs and stuff. He wants to get back at Tony Stark because Tony Stark's stealing from his business and stuff like that. So then you also get the Flash. Like Flash Thompson's played by Tony Reviol. How do you say his name?
I think that's right.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I'm not even gonna try because I'm gonna mess it up.
Revolori? Yeah. And instead of the big football jock that you normally get to see with Flash Thompson, he's more of like the trust fund frat boy that just like picks on Peter. Like, this is supposed to be a school where they're all supposed to be pretty smart. Like, right, this is supposed to be an academy for science and stuff like that. So I guess it makes sense that there's no football jock, but I think that was just one of the things that I missed with the Flash character. Like, I didn't like the new portrayal, the new characterization.
I would agree. It felt annoying, not threatening.
Yes.
Because like when he comes back around and he's Shocker, like, oh dang, he was already intimidating when he was the bully in high school, and now he's got a suit that gives him like power.
Wait,
am I thinking of the wrong person?
I think so.
Wasn't Flash Thompson Shocker?
No.
Who's he supposed to be
in this movie?
Yeah, like I thought that's who he was. Like I thought that's what the name correlated to.
Flash Thompson. No,
how am I so turned around?
I don't know. Flash Thompson, in the comic books, eventually becomes Venom, like Agent Venom. But in this,
how was
he's
I
just
so turned around? I was in my head. He was Shocker and all this nonsense. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Belay all that, everybody in the comments. They're gonna crucify me for not knowing villain names.
It's just, like I said, I just don't think that he was like you. I think the way you put it was best, is that he's not threatening. He's just annoying, and that's a pain in the butt. Like, that's just upsetting that's how he's changed.
One way or another, he was supposed to have been intimidating at one point, and now
Exactly.
he's threatening because he's no longer that.
Yeah. And then they don't really play up the whole like Flash Thompson loving Spider-Man part until Far From Home. Like, that's when Flash is like, oh no, Spider-Man's the best. Like, Parker sucks, but Spider-Man's the best. Like, not that he knows the two are the same, but now they're all on like academic decathlon together or something. They they're gonna go on the national test quiz competition,
whatever the competition is. Like
one thing that I thought was weird is that in this movie you don't really know if he has a spider sense, and I'm guessing you don't figure that out. Like, he doesn't figure that out until later.
Yes,
because like the suit itself with all its sensors and AI and stuff like that is essentially his spider sense. Like, he doesn't need to figure that out so much. Like, you can definitely say in Civil War you can see hints of it, but in this particular version of Spider-Man you don't really see it.
Yeah, like all through Civil War he was keeping up a little too well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of confusing. How do you not How do you not know that you have a sixth sense telling you that you're in trouble?
Right. And it doesn't seem to like when he walks into his bedroom and his best friend is in there. Like his spider sense should have warned him like, "Hey, someone's going to see your identity." The same thing happens with his aunt at the end of the movie. Like usually that was a thing in the comic books is like his spider sense tells him, "Hey, Aunt May is nearby. You're going
Mhm.
to get found out."
Mhm.
That's the whole point of it.
Like I feel like how do I say this? Uh, I like this movie. There are some glaring holes in it that I don't know if they were intentional or if it was just they were trying to crank out this Spider-Man movie while they could still put it in the MCU before Sony was like, "This is great," and took it for themselves.
Yep.
I don't know what it was, but those inconsistencies are very frustrating.
uh but even though it's in the Sony version of the MCU, I mean, so to speak, you got was it the principal? The principal, what's his name? Who's he played by? Principal Morita is played by Kenneth Choi, and he was also in Captain America: The First Avenger, and they kept the connection there because you see that he has in his principal's office he has a picture of his, I would assume, grandfather in World War II with Captain America.
I completely missed that.
Oh, really? Yeah, that
Yes.
was one of my favorite like little Easter eggs there, and then you got Hannibal Buress as the coach, and he's got that whole "you guys are in detention, so you have to watch these videos."
I think this guy's a traitor now. I don't know. Watch the videos.
I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal now, but this is what you got, so keep watching. Like that's a good that those are good lines.
And
Um,
this movie
Go ahead.
did spawn like the best mid-credits scene or post-credits scene in my opinion.
Which one was it?
It's the white room, Cap comes out and sits in a chair. "Hi.
Oh,
I'd like to talk to you about something that every good patriot needs. Patience." And it's
you waited,
yeah,
and then there's nothing.
you got the thing, and I hope that making it they were like, "Oh, this is going to piss people off. It's going to be great."
I mean, that was a post credit scene. That was a good one.
Uh-huh.
Um, w- the do you feel like they do a good job of balancing the whole high school life, high school problems with being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man problems?
I think so
Mhm.
because they play into it outside of the main like conflict. They play into it I think in a pretty decent way. It's a decent part of his life, but he's still trying to make time to be a kid. And then when the main conflict kicks off, it just envelops his life, and you get a pretty good sense of what it's going to be like when he's full time Spider Man.
Yeah, like the whole idea is like he keeps throwing this around like, "You know what? I'm not even going to be here that much longer. I'm going to go be an Avenger. I don't need school anymore." And
Mm-hmm.
like and Tony keeps saying, "Just be this level. You don't need to go up yet." And then he's like, "No, no, no. I can go do the bigger things." And then there's him having to deal with, "Oh, I really like this girl in school, and how do I get I'm gonna tell her that." Oh, well, he doesn't tell her, but yeah, I'll tell them that I'm best friends with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man will show up to the party and I'll be a real cool guy kind of thing. And then he chickens out and he goes and solves a crime instead. Like, is that a thing that everybody went through, that he's like, "Oh, I'd rather go and solve a crime instead of talk to the girl that I like"?
You didn't do that?
No.
Oh, I mean, I didn't either, but I was just hoping that you were cooler than me.
No, I did not go put myself in harm's way, but I also didn't go talk to the girl, so
I
there's
mean,
that.
we can relate on that point. Oh man. Um, what did you think of all of the different bad guys in this movie?
Like, I don't know how I feel about the Scorpion kinda throwaway. Um, like, to me, the Scorpion's always been a not he's not a, like, A-list villain for Spider-Man, but he's a bigger deal, if that makes sense.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the whole scorpions versus spiders, like, I always felt like that was a much bigger deal. And then, later on in the comic books when Scorpion gets the Venom symbiote, like, that made him a much bigger threat. But
That's
in
spooky to
this
think about.
yeah, right. In this, he's just, he's the leader of or he's at least a formidable member in the gang, some kind of gang or whatever that is that they're buying from Adrian Toomes. And then in later on in prison, like he just passes by him. That's it. Like we don't get much more from him.
Well, we get the dialogue between them where they both agree, like, oh yeah, we want to take that Spider-Man guy down, and then we get the interesting like character turn where Vulture knows who Spider-Man is, but he's not just gonna sell him out because reasons.
So okay, let's talk about that. What do you think his reasons are? Do you think they're like sinister reasons, or do you think they're like good guy reasons?
It almost feels like it's just good business to keep your content, like your client list close. Like that's what it feels like to me. Or like, but he's dating my daughter, so like I don't want to upset my daughter. That's what I got off of it.
I mean, that's yeah, it's definitely like is it a oh well he's friends with my daughter, so I don't want to have him killed. But then there's also the vibes of like, oh no, if anybody's gonna kill him, I'm gonna be the one to kill him. I'm gonna get my revenge, kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm definitely in the thoughts of like he saved me on the beach, so thus I'm not gonna sell him out, kind of thing. But I can definitely see it the other way.
yeah. I don't know. It just felt like you have your chance. This guy has connections on the outside. If you just want him dead, just be like, oh yeah, no, his name's Peter Parker, and he goes to my daughter's school. Bang, boom, Peter's dead. On to the next one.
Well, not anymore because she left school. So
Bang, boom, we're on to the next one. Where's Miles Morales? Like, let's go.
where's Miles? um yeah, how did you feel of like Michael Keaton coming back to superhero movies? Like, this is the thing. Like he was Batman in the 80s or late 80s, early 90s, and then he does Birdman a few years ago, where it's kind of making fun of Batman, but not really. It's just like uh, a meta thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then now he's Vulture, which is it's a different type of Birdman.
I was gonna say, I
But
think this dude has an affinity for things that fly.
yes, definitely.
Overall, though, I like Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I think he was a good choice.
Mhm.
He did it well. He brought a level of, this is gonna sound funny, but like a level of like confident parenting and intimidation.
He
Where
definitely brings that intimidation.
yeah, but everything that you see from him, his intentions are very clear the whole time.
Mhm.
And I'm okay with that. We don't need a 4 layers deep villain at this point in the MCU. We need somebody to get us from point A to point B who's just going to be the consistent, I'm the bad guy. Here we go.
Well, I mean, once again, we have a villain that's created by Tony Stark's actions because he stole away a contract from this guy, and he's like, I just need to provide for my crew and my family, so this is what I'm doing now. I steal tech and sell it on the black market.
But they didn't kill him.
This is true. They did not kill him,
So
and
10 points to the movie for not killing your villain.
I mean, yeah, if they had killed him, we wouldn't be able to see him in the trailer for Morbius, which means that the worlds are connected. The
There we go.
Sony Spider-Man world is connected to the MCU.
Boom. Handled. Means next time we see Spider-Man, I fully expect something to do with Morbius, just in the background somewhere.
Hmm.
Um, a headline, something on TV, something about Venom,
Well,
and
I
a nod.
assume I was gonna say I assume at some point Spider-Man's gonna show up in a Venom movie so that Venom can look at that symbol on Spider-Man's chest and be like, "Oh, that's cool," and then create his own symbol so that we get the Venom symbol somehow.
So he's not just full black suit.
Yeah,
If that's how they do that, by the way, just I
it's gonna
like
be.
that. I like that a lot. And then the Venom, like the symbiote's gonna be like, "We're not doing that," and he's like, "Oh, we're doing that. I'm gonna walk out." It took all of my energy to not like to sit through that movie the first time in the theater.
Oh, it's so
It
bad.
was so bad, and he deserved better.
Yes, yes, very much so.
The fight on the
Um,
spaceship. Why?
it didn't even look good. I don't know what people were talking. Why this movie made so much money?
Because they want their flawed heroes. They want their anti-heroes. They want rough and gritty. They want to recapture the spark that they had with Logan.
Yes, that is also true. You're absolutely right.
There's no memes in that, and I feel bad because I feel like we were trying to take the piss out of it, but like
No, you're absolutely right. It's just I wasn't there for it. Like I think
no, absolutely not.
if you did Venom in a different way, like you could have made this movie so much better, but the what we got, I just was not happy with.
He needs somebody.
As in,
Like I don't feel like he's Venom is a big character, and he's been around for a while, so he has a lot of world to him.
Mhm.
But I don't think he's a strong enough character to carry a movie on his own.
I mean, that is obviously just our opinion because it made close to $1 billion.
I know that, but I think it's because people were excited for the fact that it was Venom that we're finally getting to
You're right.
see Venom. But standalone symbiote drama, like if you're gonna do Venom, then you better be doing Carnage right off the bat.
I mean, that's the thing is that it's a product of its time because it's so dark and like stabby,
It's
so to
almost a
speak.
DC movie.
I mean, this is true, but like it's like, oh, we can have Spider-Man, but he kills. Like, cool, that's what we want. It's like, do you? Do you really want that?
Because that's
I
not
guess
really
they
the
do.
character, but sure, you can do that. Like, go for it, I guess.
And then once you get to Venom, you can get to Carnage, which is more killing. Like, it's
Which
more.
is what you want. And if you want the duality of Eddie Brock and the symbiote, then have him be conflicted about what to do about Carnage in the first movie. Where it's just like, oh man, that guy sucks, huh? And Eddie's like, oh yeah, that guy sucks. Cool, we're gonna go this way. And he's like, well, we have to stop. Nope, we don't. That's not our
we-
problem.
well, that's what your second movie is going to be all about.
I'm
So
upset.
prepare for Woody Harrelson.
I am excited about that.
We are. I mean, I think we were already supposed to have that movie out too, and that didn't happen. So,
Dear 2020, you have given me a great podcast to look forward to every week, but you've also robbed me of my movie going experience.
I mean, if it wasn't for 2020 taking away all of our extracurricular activities, you might not have started doing this podcast.
Oh no, I definitely would not have. So like, good side, I love talking to you every week, Mitch. But downside, I want my damn movies. I have a Harkins Cup that is getting no play right now.
For those who are listening that are not in the Arizona area, a theater is a theater chain that's only in this region.
And they give you a cup. You could buy a cup that gives you $1.50 drinks every time you go. So
This is true.
save your money. Get your drink up.
In the third Spider-Man movie that they should be working towards at this point.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the Raimi films.
Oh no. What's a character from the MC or the MU Marvel Universe that you would love to see? Like, especially since now that we have the Fox characters back, 'cause I would love for them to cast a Human Torch and have that relationship, the Human Torch Spider-Man relationship, because they're supposed to be best friends.
I would like that because that would also breed a really fun. I guess for you it'd be a freeform storyline of his non-meta best friend getting super jealous.
Ooh, this is true. And that would very much be a very freeform
Yeah,
story.
and you might not be here for it, but I think it could be fun
I
as
mean,
like a super like subplot where like it's all that's not the main thing, but he's butthurt because Peter has a new friend who has powers and they can relate on that and all that kind of stuff.
if I remember correctly, when they started filming when they started filming Homecoming, Tom Holland was 18, I want to say.
Yes.
And then so 3 years later is when they have Far From Home come out, so that means he would have been 21. He's gonna
Hmm.
be 24 by the time the next one comes out, if not older because of delays. Like, is he still gonna be a high school student? Like,
I
am I gonna be watching this middle-aged or not middle-aged, sorry,
wow.
mid-20s person like playing a high school kid, which is what we got with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Like those guys were both like pushing 30 when they were doing Spider-Man in high school.
I would hope that they age him up. I would hope that by the time we get this third one, that maybe we're out of self-conscious, inexperienced Spider-Man, and we're into full-fledged like swinging the length of the town, like fighting people because he can kind of Spider-Man. Into full J. Jonah Jameson conspiracy theory Spider-Man. Like that's what I want.
I mean, how are they gonna do? I mean, does that mean that he's gonna be in hiding the whole time because like he's wanted for murder and like people know that he's Peter Parker Spider-Man?
Uh, that could be a thing. It could just become a thing where they like his identity is known, and he has the resources of Stark Enterprise behind him, the Stark
Does
Industries.
he though? Did Stark leave him any money?
I mean, he has what's the glasses. Damn.
He does have the glasses. It's an
Even in
female.
death, I'm the hero.
Yeah, even in
Yeah.
even dead, I'm the hero.
Yes,
Does that
Edith.
make any more
Yeah,
sense?
Edith. There we go. Way to go, Tony. We're smart. So like he has access to that. I would assume there's still some sort of relationship between between him and Pepper Potts, or he at least has access to her somehow. I
I
mean,
guess
he
that's true.
he has Edith. He can go, hey, call Pepper.
So I guess this also brings into account like, did Tony Stark get Peter Parker to sign the Sokovia Accords, and are those still a thing after in game? Like, are those still binding? Like, so do people? I mean, can the UN like arrest him right now? Like, is that part of the thing, or was he under like? Was he actually like? Does he get immunity for killing Mysterio because like he was on the Sokovia Accords?
I mean, he might. Could they like retroactively declare it a need for a meta to like go in and do the thing?
I mean, technically, he was working for Shield, kinda at
Oh
that
no,
point.
he was working for Shield at that point, but Shield doesn't
Yeah,
exist anymore.
but it does exist. Like,
But like it's not formally recognized the way that it used to be.
yeah, you're right. Those are all really good questions, and I hope that they
I hope they
bring
answer
'em up.
them.
Yeah, I hope they bring them up and answer them in the third movie.
Or does he just put on the Iron Spider suit and say, "Bring it on," and punch everybody who tries to fight him in the face?
Come on, come at me.
I'm I'm two halves of something that makes me unstoppable. I am Iron Man and I am Spider Man, and I have stabby legs. Let's go.
And I don't even have to do anything. I can put the suit in kill mode, and it just takes care of stuff on its own.
Yeah, I'm waiting for because they're setting him up even in this one. Like even in Homecoming, they're already setting him up as the protege.
Hmm.
I want it, but I don't want it to get to a point where he talks to the suit like Tony talked to his.
I mean, yeah. What did he end up? It's Jennifer Connelly, which, if anybody didn't know, is the voice of inside his suit. Which is funny because she is married to the actor who plays Jarvis. Why can't I think of his name? It's
Oh
Paul
man,
Bettany.
there we go.
So, like, that you can just see that whoever went and asked was like, "Hey, would you like to be the voice of the Spider-Man suit?"
It's Karen.
Karen, which is weird.
Yep.
The way that Karens went.
She's credited as Karen / Suit Lady because he spends all that time in the bunker calling her Suit Lady.
Uh-huh. And then what was it? Like, how much time has passed, Karen? 3 minutes, or it was like
It's something really, really low. And he's like, damn it.
See, that was another thing, was like, that was the one of the only times I felt like they really worked on like, when he finally was figuring out to get himself out of that building, like, was
Mm-hmm.
the super intelligent Peter Parker. Like, because Peter
Yeah.
Parker is supposed to be one of the higher intelligence in the MCU, or the MU, sorry. And we have him go to his friend to route out the training wheels program out of the suit. Like, he's getting shown up by everybody else in the decathlon, like, kind of team. But that's more because he's distracted.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that, with him not being as like high level intelligence, because maybe, just maybe, we'll get a smart guy that's not science guy. We'll get like Peter Parker the engineer or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Where it's not just like, oh, you're smart, you know science. Like, I'm tired of it.
It's just, I didn't like the addition of his friend and as the guy in the chair. Like, you need your guy in the chair, and I was like, I don't need that.
Like,
I like Spider-Man to just kind of do it on his
Spider-Man's
own.
a solo kind of guy. Like, he plays well with others. He plays
Yeah.
as a part of a team, but he
Hmm.
doesn't need it.
No, and I don't think he should.
I think that if we do get the Human Torch and they become best friends, that current best friend is going to disappear.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that'd be good for the movie itself, because they've used him for 2 movies, and it wouldn't be a good
Or
optic to just
is
lose him.
is there a like a bad guy he could become, even like a low grade one?
I mean, technically, his name is the name of the Hobgoblin in the comic books.
Is it?
Yes. If you wanna believe
Who
that. Like, there's 2 mindsets that Ned was not actually the Hobgoblin, that he was set up by the real Hobgoblin, to take the fall, but it's a I always think of him as that's the name of the Hobgoblin.
excuse me. Ow. Choking on spit. Wow, that's fun.
Don't lie, you know you had the COVID.
You know it. Oh man, choking on spit. Your theory about the hobgoblin just got me so excited that I forgot how to breathe for a second.
I forgot how to
Because honestly, I'd be down. We've gotten Green Goblin twice.
Mhm.
Give us Hobgoblin one time for the one time. Like, let's go.
Um, but, did you have a different character other than the Human Torch?
Oh,
Like,
because
I could
yeah,
also see Reed Richards showing up as, like, if this whole Spider-Man is a murderer and we need to capture him thing, like, gets blown under, or blown away or swept under the rug, like, he could be doing another internship or scholarship win for Reed Richards in the Future Foundation or the Baxter Building or whatever you want to call it.
So hear me out. If we do Reed Richards, he works for the Future Foundation.
Mhm.
You change his name to whatever you want, but you put glasses and a mustache on him because you have little toddler-looking Tom Holland with a mustache now, and that's just funny to me.
You have to watch what's the movie called? The Lost City of Z, and he's in that, and
With a mustache?
he has a mustache, and
Yeah.
that was filmed before Spider-Man, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's weird looking.
um, I
Or it might
would
be.
I would be down in the next one to get like in the third one, to get another Spider-Man character into the universe, because we have so many. It feels like from so many other like so many from just a handful of people, something to flesh out and build Earth a little bit more. because I
Mm.
know I keep pitching like, oh, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be big. It needs to be big. Like the next phase, like the next thing we build up to needs to be big. But it'd be really nice to have like some small scale stuff. Like I don't know, I don't even care who it is. Just somebody. If I have to put a name on it, let's put Black Cat in. I've already brought her up once.
Hmm.
Let's put Black Cat in there, and now we have like torn Peter, where he's like, yeah, like MJ's real cool, but Black Cat though.
So let me throw this at you. You have the first movie where Tony Stark is basically his mentor, right?
Uh-huh.
Like he's got this whole mentor relationship with him. He's learning from him, and that works out really well for him. But then Tony Stark passes away, and then in Far From Home, he gets Mysterio in as like as a mentor too. But it's a false mentorship, like because Mysterio is trying to kill him
Mm-hmm.
or steal from him and then kill him. Third movie, he's the mentor. We bring in
Ooh.
someone young for him to have to teach how to be a hero, so to
Then
speak.
give us Miles.
I mean, I would love Miles, but I feel like Sony doesn't want to cross that line because they're doing so with Spider-Verse. Like, just keep that over there for right now.
Then give us Ben.
Ben Riley?
Yeah,
See, I would love for them to tackle Clone Saga, but I feel like, or is it Clone? No, Clone. Is it called Clone Saga?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, Clone Saga. Um, because, but I feel like that's way too much to do in just one movie.
Yeah. Um.
Let me ask you this: if they were to bring in Ben Riley as a clone of Peter Parker and then get the Scarlet Spider,
Uh
would you want Tom Holland to play both roles in like with dyed hair as Ben Riley, or would you just want to get them to get another actor that looks a lot like Tom Holland, like how a lot of people say Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire look alike, or
I don't see
um,
that one at all.
did you know Jake Gyllenhaal was supposed to take over for Tobey Maguire in the second Spider-Man movie because he had injured his back on Seabiscuit, I think, and
Really?
yeah, so he was supposed to take over. And then there's a movie where the two of them play brothers, and people say they look like. I think it's just called Brother.
I'm
Yeah,
googling this right now.
yeah. It's a thing. And then there's Aaron Eckhart and Thomas Jane. Like people always get the two of them confused too.
Really?
Yep. So, would you want them to find another actor that looks like Tom Holland, like kind of sorta, or do you want Tom Holland to play dual roles?
Uh. Okay. Hold on. I want to answer your question, but I just googled Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal, and I, I'm concerned. Wow. I was not ready for this. This is so
So,
bizarre. This is
do you agree that they look alike, or
okay.
do you?
Now that I see them side by side, they're brothers. They were cast perfectly for the movie Brothers. But all right. Anyway, back to your question. I'm
there's al-
sorry.
there's also Daniel Radcliffe and Elijah Wood.
Yeah, that one I knew. That one trips me out because they're the same person. Have you ever seen them in the same place at the same time?
Me personally, no.
Yeah. Then I do not accept it from you, sir. Um, I think it'd be cool. I would like to see. I think it works either way. It'd be really fun to see him dual role, like dual cast it, where he does both, just because it's always funny to watch people try to Eddie Murphy it. But I think that the role, like the character, deserves a little more seriousness
Hmm.
than a dual cast. But I don't know who you'd even start with.
And for me personally, if you were going to be bringing in Ben Riley, you have to bring in Kane. Like, I want to see that third clone that's just so messed up and, like hates life that he wants to kill Peter Parker like that bad. Like, he, like, the way he eventually becomes, like, he's a hero and stuff. Like, I love that clone, that version of Peter Parker.
So what if that one was it's three it's three of him
3 Tom Hollands.
3 Tom Hollands. And the whole thing around that is everybody's confused because why is Spider-Man doing all these things that are out of character for Spider-Man? Why is he? We get J. Jonah Jameson being like, "See, I told you,
He's a menace.
he's a menace. He's a murderer. He's setting stuff on fire." And when you say Spider-Man, they're like, "Who?" So obviously he's lost his mind.
Yeah.
Like we get that kind of fun stuff, but then you have then. And now this is for the memes. You can actually have the '60s Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other, and I want that.
Yeah, that would be great.
But you can do it
Why
with
are you
all.
pointing?
You can do it with all 3 of them, and they're all wearing different suits, so it's easy to tell them apart. But the fact is, they all have the same face.
Also, do we ever get like Gwen Stacy in this?
I was gonna ask that same thing because they're leaning really hard into Zendaya.
They really. Well, oh, do you mean like Spider Gwen?
No, I mean like just as a character, like they're leaning
Oh.
so hard into Zendaya that I don't know if there's room for Gwen Stacy at this point.
Yeah. I don't see them bringing in another love interest. It's just probably not going to be a thing. But like in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they they set him up with Mary Jane first, and then Gwen Stacy comes in the third movie, and there's a little bit of love interest there, but it never gets to the point like it is in the comic books. Like, do you bring in Gwen Stacy? Do you bring in actual Mary Jane? Do you bring in what's the name of J. Jonah Jameson's Betty Brant, like, or Gloria Grant? Like, those are all love interest of Spider-Man.
If you do it later down the line. I think right now that would be crowding beyond belief, and I don't think we need that storyline from him yet.
Tom Holland himself has said that he'd play Spider-Man for as long as he could. How many movies do you think he plays him?
23.
23 movies. He never steps away from the role.
No, he becomes Peter B. Parker and passes it on to the next one after his 23rd movie, and there we go. The cycle continues, and they got whoever's next gets it for another 23 movies, and that's just until the sun burns out. That's what's gonna happen. No,
that's what's happening in December of 2020. The sun burns out, so
I'd be so sad and dead.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that honestly, I think we got him for maybe 4 more.
4 more Spider-Man movies,
like
wow.
provided we can start production on stuff again.
Correct.
If he's down to do it for as long as he can, then why not? Then we get like well into being an adult Peter Parker, where he's a research assistant, and we can get Doc Ock involved, and we can do all this kind of stuff. Like, honestly, I hope that would be the next like actual Spider-Man villain, but to be seen.
Doc Ock would be great. Do you have a preference in who they cast as Doc Ock?
I haven't thought about that.
I haven't thought about that either.
Yeah.
I mean, Alfred Molina did such a good job in the Spider-Man 2. And then, what is her name? Jennifer Hahn was the voice of the Doc Ock in the Spider-Verse movie. So, I don't know.
I have somebody in my head, but I can't remember their name, so I'm looking right now. And then as soon as I say it, you're going to go, you couldn't remember that name?
I was going to say, can you think of the movie? I probably
no.
figure it
out. Since we had Michael Keaton, give us another Batman. Give me Val Kilmer, Doc Ock.
I mean, that'd be cool. He's not really acting anymore. Like I think he ended up having like throat cancer, and it ate away at his jaw.
I didn't know that. Now I feel like a tool.
And the last thing, well, he was in what was it? The Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't have any talking roles. So,
see, because I couldn't remember Val Kilmer because in my head it was Dolph Lundgren. But that would not work.
No,
that would not work at all.
That'd be interesting.
Dolph Lundgren, Doc Ock.
I mean, he was in he played Mara's dad in the Aquaman movie.
True.
Yeah.
No, but Val Kilmer was the first one to come to mind. But if we can't get Val Kilmer, then let's just make him Tom Cruise.
One of the villains I would love to make him Tom Cruise. I almost blew over that right there.
I was hoping you would, because I was gonna be like, yeah, we're desensitized to Tom Cruise.
No, you want to bring Tom Cruise in for another villain, and I want them to kind of get into weird villains with Spider-Man. Bring in the Spot. Have him play the Spot. I would love to see that. The dude throws portable holes and and stuff. Like that'd be awesome to see.
I would be on board for that. And it's Tom Cruise, so he's little tiny anyway. So they're both small men, so you don't have to worry about like framing your shots just right, because they're tiny. They're like there you go.
I mean, I have this absolutely no idea how tall Tom Holland is, but I feel like he's shorter than Tom Cruise. But I think that's only because that's the way they shoot him, so that he looks like a teenager still.
Yeah, because I know that he's not very like he's of average size, but to me he's just little tiny.
I mean, he's probably not the same height as Chris Evans, who I believe is 6'2".
I don't think so. I'm gonna Google it now.
Okay. The Spot I think would be a pretty cool villain. I definitely want to see the Rhino. I want the Rhino in the next movie, because the Paul Giamatti Rhino that made me so upset, so upset. And
Tom
if you're
Holland's
gonna
5'8".
5'8", okay, so he is taller than Tom Cruise. But if you're gonna give me a Rhino, I would love to see the Big Show play Rhino. I think that would be awesome.
That'd be awesome, especially now that he's like kind of an old guy.
Yeah.
Because he's just trying to prove that he can still like keep up.
Yep.
So would it be like the big exoskeleton like from Amazing Spider-Man? Because I liked that.
Why do you hate me? Why do
you didn't like the exoskeleton?
No.
Why?
The exoskeleton is dumb.
I thought it was awesome.
Suit. Just give me the regular suit and a dude that's huge and dumb.
Give me a suit that looks like an anatomical rhino and a dude that's stupid to put it on and gets stuck in it.
Boom. Thank you. That's all I want. That's it. That's all I want.
Never been so accused of hating someone.
I mean, it just felt like you were attacking me. You were ready to fight me, as you like to say on this podcast.
You know, I'm always ready, Mitch. Anytime. We can meet in Gila Bend and we can throw down with some tweakers. But like
right on the train tracks.
Right on the train tracks. But if we fight too fast, the cops will pull us over.
This is true. This is true.
No, I didn't mind the exoskeleton. I thought it was a cool take. Making him super Russian wasn't an idea, was a concept.
Wasn't an idea.
But yeah, as long as they didn't like get laser ass with the exoskeleton, then I think we're fine.
That's fair. So, returning characters from this movie, I would say, I mean, obviously all his friends return, as they did in Homecoming or Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vulture is going to come back. Obviously, we're going to see him again in Morbius, but we have to see him again in the third Spider-Man movie. It only makes sense that they set it up. We're going to see Scorpion again. I can't think of anybody else in particular that we saw in this movie that we might see again in any like substantial way.
We might get some Wakanda folk.
We could see some Wakanda folk. Like the idea that maybe the Wakanda Science like Academy or whatever like picks Peter to learn some stuff. Like I could see that,
because like I could see that being a thing, just because they're out and about now. Like they're not locked to Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's on the run, who knows who he hangs out with or who's helping him or anything like that.
That's fair.
Because he fought in Endgame, so there's going to be some sort of existing relationship, because it's not like they all fought and went, cool, all right, see you later, and everybody went home.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be some sort of relationship there, as well as like you fought I guess, in the Infinity War, and now we have to figure out something with the throne of Wakanda. Like, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
So this is the first time we've recorded this
y-
particular podcast since learning of the passing of Chadwick Boseman. I
yeah,
wanted to save it for the end so that we just
yeah.
say our condolences and stuff like that. But
Like,
it's tragic.
it really is, and I don't want to hop off of that and just like blow right past it. But if we're doing that at the end, anybody listening, don't hate me for just moving past it. We're gonna get there. But there's an open spot now, so people who know that he fought with T'Challa, there might be some like love there at this point, like some sort of like mutual respect,
Hmm.
anything like that. So I feel like the concept of him getting either working with people from Wakanda or having like Wakanda based tech or anything like that could be cool.
I mean, I definitely think that him and Sherry would get along. Like he
Oh,
obviously likes
absolutely.
hanging out with intelligent people, so
And they both know pop culture stuff.
they both know pop culture stuff. Okay, I mean, this is the part where we would talk about it because
Yeah.
this is pretty much the end of the podcast.
Well, okay, yeah. It was like we have. I don't feel like it's right at this point to meme around anymore. So yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tragic. It's super sad, and I've talked about this a little bit on other things, but to me, I guess it hits a little bit more just because he was so young. Like
Mm-hmm.
the idea that he was really hitting his stride with making movies, and in all intents and purposes, probably was going to be making movies for another 60 years. No, maybe not 60, 40 years. Uh, it could have, but
Yeah.
it's a life cut super short, and that's why it hurts a little bit more.
Yeah, and I I'm blown away because obviously I know him most prominently at this point from Black Panther, from being
Mhm.
King T'Challa. But when I heard the news, I went back and looked at his filmography, and holy crap, this dude was in so many things that were so great.
So many, yes. I
So
mean,
many.
Marshall is such a good movie. If anybody gets a chance to and hasn't seen it yet, you should definitely check that out. Get On Up's kind of weird. It's not the best movie. It's a very strange biopic. 42 is amazing. Uh, 21 Bridges could have been better. In the Name of the King is good. I mean, there's a lot of. I think it's called. That's what it's called. I think it's In the Name of the King. But either way, like
Yeah,
he made a lot of great movies.
like from just looking back over it right now, uh, if you want to take a minute and watch this guy's work in a good memory of him, you have a grip of a choice of just
Mhm.
great things to sit down and watch.
And I know a lot of people over the weekend did their rewatches of his filmography of whatever they wanted. Most people probably watched Black Panther or
Mm-hmm.
any of the Avenger movies that he was in. Like, and that's okay. That's fair. You appreciate him in the way that you want to appreciate him, and we have to move on. But we'll talk about more of that when we get to Black Panther.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of time to
Well, two movies.
to get thoughts together and make sure that that's a good time for that.
Yeah. All right, Ian. Where can people find you online?
Hi. You can find me at twitch.tv/IanFlux. That's IANFLUX. And if you're watching this right now, my Twitter handle is right below me. That's IANFLUX12. That's at IanFlux12.
If you want to talk to me, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Mitchipedia GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. The rest of Geek Elite Media is also on Twitter at Geek Elite Media, at Geek Elite Media on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Geek Elite Media is our Facebook page. Check out archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our network on our website, geekelitemedia.com. Check out our Patreon page. We have lots of bonus material there
Bonus
for all
material.
different levels. We have
Levels.
3 tiers. Go check it out. Check out some of the bonus material. Actually, we have a 4th tier, but it's kind of a joke tier. It's like it's a lot of money. It's $1,000. Like, I don't plan on anybody giving us that, but, like, if you wanna give it to us, then more power to you, but I really didn't think anybody was gonna do that one. Uh,
If I win the lottery, Mitch.
so yeah, go check out our Patreon page. And whatever podcatcher you're using, if you listen to this on a podcast, please rate and review us so that we can help spread the word of our network to other listeners. But until next time, this is Journey into Mystery on the Geek Elite Media Network saying always remember to
Geek
geek
out.
out.
I was early on that one.
No, actually it made it so that we came out at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Excellent. I didn't mean to pull the wind out of the sails there at the end. I'm sorry.
No. That was a good segue. Like I said, I wanted to talk about it at the end.
Okay. I didn't know if I absolutely killed everything or not, or if I put you on the spot or anything there. I'm sorry if I did.
You're good.